What's going on, everybody? My name's Tony. I'm a t-shirt designer, a graphic artist, and a comic book colorist. Today I want to teach you how to start making your own t-shirt designs even if you don't have any design experience. Hopefully by the end of this video you'll be able to make your first design and start making some money. It's pretty easy and you don't really need a whole lot of experience. So let's just jump right into it. So I'm in Adobe Illustrator, but you can use any graphics app that you would like. I prefer Illustrator for most of my stuff because it's vector based, which means everything is scalable. I can make it as big or as little as I want without losing any kind of quality. But the first thing I want to talk to you about is three concepts. The first one is kerning, and that is the process of adjusting the space in between individual letter forms. Tracking, which is the adjusting of space between all letters, and leading, which is the space between adjacent lines of type or text. So the first thing we need to know about kerning is when we're doing this, we're not looking so much at a set space between each letter form. We're talking about this negative space in between. So I made this so we can see what that space looks like. And if I turn this into white, then you can just see what those negative spaces look like. And you can see they're all very different in size. And what we want is for the volume of that to look roughly the same in between each one. So what we do here is we in every app you should have a way to adjust the kerning. In Adobe Illustrator, it's in this character palette, and it's this one right here. It's set the kerning between two characters, but on my keyboard I can hold down the Alt key and the left or right arrow, and that'll adjust it that way. So what I'm just trying to do here is to make sure that basically all these negative spaces look roughly the same. Certain letters like this E is going to be a little more difficult because there's these big open spaces here. The I and the N here, it's just one line, so you don't want to open that up too wide. So you're kind of making it what looks visually pleasing, not so much an exact science, but there is a way. So yeah, that's basically what you need to do. And there's an app that I'll link in the description that will let you practice kerning, and it'll tell you how good you did. It's pretty cool. It's actually a website. So once I have my kerning roughly how I want it, let me see, I made one up here, and you can see the negative space here. Make this white. And we can see that this is roughly even. Some of these, like I said, are going to be more like this E, and the I's I always end up with a little bit less, but they're generally in the ballpark there. So once we have our kerning, that's going to be the most important thing. Now you can just go ahead and type out a word however it looks, but it's going to look a lot more professional. People might not really notice with an untrained eye, but I feel like our brains are wired to spot those differences and inconsistencies anyways. So here, if you just type the word out, it looks pretty good. You might want to bring the G in a little bit here. Bringing that a little bit. And that, again, is we're roughly in the area. So that's all that is. Now the tracking, this is just basically the space between the whole group of letters. And this can be whatever you want as long as it looks good. But a lot of times the tracking, it's something I'll use like this. So I'll say kerning turn that. And then I'll type out tracking. And I make this small. And I can adjust the tracking again in this palette here. And I can make that whatever I want. And keep making that wider. And this gives us a nice little bit of contrast if we're doing a text design with just 2 words. Stuff like that. Sometimes I might want these letters to appear more like a block, so I'll bring the tracking in once they're kerned. And then it gives you a little bit of a different look. Adjust the kerning some more if you need to. And that's it for the tracking. And the leading is, again, just basically the space between the lines of type. And you can have that as loose or as tight as you can. But you want to make sure that there's some kind of balance. So I can bring the leading in like this, real tight. If I want to add more, let's say I want to just keep repeating this word. Then I might want to have the leading tight like that. You might want to spread it out. Just depends on what you want. But the main thing is you want to find it. You either want it very spread out or very close together. If you're kind of in the middle, sometimes it I don't know, just it's not balanced and it's a little less visually pleasing, I guess you would say. So we're going to put these 3 concepts into practice and we're going to make our first design. And to make a design and sell a design, you don't really need to have graphics. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. Most of the time, most of my sales have come from just basic text shirts. And I feel like concept is king. If you have an idea people could relate to, then that's what you're going to do. So instead of following the trends and seeing like, oh, what's trending, let me copy this person's design but make my own version or whatever, what I suggest you do, especially in the beginning, is find something that you know about, maybe you're passionate about, maybe, you have some kind of insider knowledge and make that. So if you're a chef, then you might want to do things related to working in a kitchen. If you're a dentist, then do dental things and sell it to people who know about those things. And then you can build from there. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to make an old knock knock joke shirt. And I'm going to start with Arial Black. You can use Helvetica, Futura, anything sans serif. To start with, I wouldn't get too crazy with picking a typeface. Just keep it basic, readable, simple, easy, and that'll go a long way towards your design looking like you know what you're doing, even if you really don't at the beginning. So here I'm going to type orange and then I'm going to go ahead and do my kerning on this on this word right now. And I kind of want the tracking to be just a little bit wider than this. And that's good. And since I'm repeating this word, I'm just going to copy it. What's going on? My leading. Yeah, I've got to set my leading to auto here. Okay. Paste that. Then I'm going to type in banana. And I can just let it go like this if I wanted to, but I feel like that's just kind of a little too spread out and things are floaty to me. So I'm definitely going to bring my leading in here and just get these words a little closer together, so what we have is kind of a big block of text here. And resize that. And this could be it if I wanted, or maybe I want to do this on a colored shirt or a black shirt. If I'm using heat transfer vinyl, I definitely would just keep that white. But if you're working with print on demand or something like that, then you definitely have some room for color here. So I might want to do something like that. And I'll just, you can keep playing with this until the color is exactly the way you want. But you do something like that, and you're pretty much good to go on a t-shirt. And the same concept applies for anything. So you can type out a sentence and let's see. Okay, let's say I want to say, there's always money in the banana stand. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is come back here and make sure that my leading is set to auto for all of this. Make that bigger. And you can go on these type of designs, you can do a line left, you can center it, or a line right. I almost always do a line left just because I like the way that that looks. And here again, I might want to bring in my leading a little bit, just so we have like a nice solid block of text. I could definitely spread it back out with auto if I want, but I again prefer this type of look. And that can go on a shirt. And again, you can just make this white if you wanted. Or I can go ahead and make this a color. I can just make individual letters color if I want. You know, I can play around with it. But the main thing here is just that you make sure that and I didn't do this yet, but you want to go through here and make sure all of your kerning looks good. And a lot of these typefaces already have pretty decent kerning when you type them in, but like I said, you just want to go back in there and make sure that you're doing things right. And that's pretty much it for designing your first shirt. Like I said, I make a lot of money on these type of shirts. This has been my bread and butter for years, and I'm fully capable of making images and designing and all that stuff. But I find that what they called in school KISS, keep it simple, stupid, um, theory is the best. People just want something that people are going to read and laugh or be like, oh yeah, I relate to that or whatever. So I think just with those things in mind, go out, make some designs, upload them to wherever you're deciding to sell. If you're selling on Etsy or Redbubble or merch or whatever, find a space where there's not that many people, if possible, doing what you're doing. Find something that you can relate to. Don't jump on the trends, and I think you'll get a good start on things. And definitely try to find a niche that you can kind of live in for a while. And you can still do other stuff, but it just kind of helps to have something that's your bread and butter. So anyways, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. I'm not editing this video at all, so this is just basically my stream of consciousness here, just my thoughts. And let me know if you have any questions, and I would be happy to help. Keep on designing, and I'll see you next time.